Good morning. The time 10:09 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Date 1/12/2014. In 2014, we have Amazon.com, and we have an earnings season coming up with another quarterly reports. Now, Amazon has done extremely well as far as selling the products, and we have a lot more online shopping that we have had before. And that this is the top over here, and we had pulled back, and this is part of 2013's base that led this thing on a daily level. This is a rectangular consolidation, and once it was in that rectangular consolidation here, as you can see, that we broke straight out and made a high, and we pulled back right here. The dates here up here are on 12/26, a day after St. Nick. Then on 12/27, we had a negative distribution that undercut that 10-day simple, and that low was 392. That date was 12/30. Okay, and then we had a positive up day here on New Year's Eve. Oh, by the way, Happy New Year's once again. That high or that open was 304.58. I mean 394, and we traveled up here to that 402 number on 1/3. We made a high here. This is called a double top high, short term right here. And what we have in calendar 2014 is Amazon puts a low in, and that low right here was 388.42, and that was on 1/6. This is on a daily drop down. That rising 20-day simple moving average has, just like it did over here, it would test it and make another high. The 10 and 20-day simple moving averages were rising. We came in, we consolidated rectangularly, and we busted up out of there and we made the highs. So in 2014, we have the low, and then we have 4 days to the high. So let's take a look at this calendar yearly 2014 high. Like I said, it cleared through that 404 area, got to 406.8. As soon as it hit 406, we had enough, and people were selling into the high now. And that this high right here on this calendar date on 12/2 is going to be the support level now, and that's right here. And we are on top of this whole price channel. Let's let it be known that the 10-day simple moving average is descending in value. And why is that? Because this upper end, I'm going to take the high of this bar and I'm going to run it right there. Here, let's get a little bit perfect now. Right there. Okay. So this bar, that trend line up there, that's what it looks like. That's the highs. So this was where we consolidated, made what we call, anytime you make a new high and you get a red daily bar, you want to get short right away. And once again, we had 2 days of that from the last previous high up here. Now what we're seeing in calendar 2014, and now remember, Amazon is also in a lot of different sectors, but here's calendar 14. We have more of a bear move. We do have support at the 20-day. Let's go ahead and identify that MMT, that 20-day simple. Oh, how about that? That's 395.94 cents. The 20-day is that red line. Now, the blue line is a 10-day. That value there is 398.36 cents. Okay? And Amazon is going to either continue to challenge the daily high, which was the previous daily's close, is that this high here was the sell. I mean, that is the wall of resistance. And now that we've come down here, this bar right here, push that up. That's resistance down. You can clearly see it. So when we take a look at a breakout rally, and a 5-day pattern is in a 5-day breakout pattern, we can clearly see what? The following. And we can see um, why this name has pulled back. And each time you get a double 2-day pullback, you pop and you make a new high. You get a 2-day pullback in late December. We did pop here and made a high. It pulled back, and so calendar 14 has a high in Amazon. Now, the bearish part of it is that those moving averages on the 10-day are pointing down. The lower end of the support is down here, and that high end is a resistance level. What that really equates to and what it means is that the put options that we can buy, here they are, Amazon, AMZN on Amazon. Okay? So having said that, we'll let this populate right here and now. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a look here at this is the first monthly options expiration of 2014 on a monthly level. It's the first monthly one. We traded the last monthly one of 2013. Now we're in 2014. It's a monthly expiration. So when we go over here, we are going to look at where we are at. And what I mean by that statement is I also wanted to include this weekly chart so that you could see here when Amazon will show a weekly pattern, and the weekly pattern is good to see what Amazon has done. Amazon is right up here on a weekly resistance level. We will take that high of that bar is a support level. That is a 10-week. That is a 20-week. These were the breakouts on this weekly chart. But every time Amazon had highs or a series of highs, it pulled back on a weekly level, but it made newer highs. And you had good daily movements versus the weekly. That's 5 days is each one of these buy side volumes. So having said that, we're going to take a look now at the options, and the options that we're going to take a look at short term monthly is going to be a 400. Again, we're going to take a look at the 400 on a weekly level. We want to see that these are at their historical lows, as Amazon.com here is in a reversal, in a daily reversal, and that the put options, that's the 400, we would also be looking at the 405 puts for a monthly trade. Let's take a look. These are super deflated right here. These were the highs on these contracts, $33. Hey, I'm looking at being a buyer. This is a weekly low right here, and this is a put option. This put option can pay very nicely, providing that wall of resistance here, this new resistance here on the daily is resistance. We would be looking at the 405 put, and this is the 405 value of the weekly price. They were 1676. Let's just take a look. I'm looking at the value of, let's make sure, the 405 put option that expires monthly. I will tell you that this weekly low was $5.50. I will also tell you that the weekly high of 1.5, the weekly high was $18.25, and the close was $10. The low in that 5-day weekly pattern of 5 days was $5.50, and what a big move it was in this options right here. So having said that, we will show you another view of that 405. But before I do, Amazon right now in 2014 has a double daily weekly reversal, and in the past it has always broke higher. The trade is that the resistance is right up here at the body of that bar, and we'll be moving in on this monthly trade. Look at here. Here is a daily view of the 405 puts that are in the money. They were 1825 on 1/6. That was the value. Now that we hit a low on 1/9, these contracts opened at 640. They went up to 886, and the low was $5.50 right here. Now that Amazon has that resistance level that I showed you, this particular option was opening at $6.50. It made a high of $10.85, but let it be known that the low was 625, and let it be known that the close is at $10, and let it be known that that is a what 405 monthly put option on Amazon that is tradable. Not only is it tradable, it is also a nice pay. It's going to be a nice payday on that, because once we break these daily simple moving averages and that lower support level down here, those are going to go in value. We would be buying them though when the stock goes up and challenges this reversal pattern, which is this high right here. So having said that, this is the bar of that, slightly above. Let's just call it 402.50. That's, a pretty good entry. So selling short right up in here where these highs were, and that's a lower high reversal. How to trade Amazon and buy the monthly puts.